Guys, deluded. I'm back again now. The World Cup. Obviously, you guys are like me. You're seeing which players are decent. This, that, and the third. One that's 20 years of age that I know Serbia have been disappointing of sorts. Some people didn't tip them to be dark horses, but considering they won stuff at under 20 level, they've got Savic and a lot of these sort of players coming through. Great players. Would have thought to have seen a bit more, but we were, well, not me, but some people were disappointed in that regards. But one player of that national team that did impress me or caught my eye, I say the word impress too much, and I want to see a bit more of him, is Nikola Milenkovic, the 20-year-old centre-half. For me, was it against Costa Rica? He was very good. So against Switzerland, as was the whole team. And Brazil, I think he was actually one of the only decent ones, to be fair, from Serbia. Yeah, throughout the tournament, there's been times he's had a hand in goals conceded, he's switched off and things like that. But I've been impressed. He's composed. He's mature beyond his years. He relishes responsibility. In regards to recovery tackles, he's a bit slow, but it's good. He's good in that regards. He is very composed, man. He's someone I like the look of. He's okay with the ball at his feet as well. He's brave. He'll put his body on the line. And I don't want to be talking about potential and all of these things, but he looks like someone that could be decent. Did a bit of digging into his career prior to the World Cup. I'm not gonna lie to you. I ain't seen this brother before. He plays for Fiorentina. Then I was like, DG, you're meant to be DG. You can't know everything. But how didn't you know this guy? I was like, all right, cool. I don't know everyone. Let me pre into his career. He's only made around 17 appearances or so for Fiorentina. He's 20, so he is kind of inexperienced, but he has played a decent amount for his previous side. And he did come through Partizan's academy. For those who don't know, Partizan's a club in Serbia, I believe. They brought through some very good players, man. Even what's that guy that's I don't know. He didn't even go to the World Cup, did he? Or did he? I can't remember. But the Benfica lad that everybody's after, that Arsenal wanted before he went to Benfica. There's a lot of great Partizan players people that come through Partizan's academy. I can't lie. Even a football manager, like I just scout Partizan, take their players more time, but. You get where I'm coming from in that regards. Like, he's street smart in my opinion, man. He was solid. He was, like I said, he was shaky versus Switzerland. He was good against Costa Rica, as they all were. Brazil, he's one of the better players, but he'd probably poke holes in his game where he could have improved. And yeah, he's been compared in his homeland to Vidic. High praise indeed. Again, if he even has a fraction of Vidic's ability, he'll have a good career. High praise indeed. Very high praise. Allegedly, Everton are scouting him. Like I said, he plays for Fiorentina. I believe they signed him for around £5 million. Well, not pounds, obviously, but you get where I'm going. And he will I do think they'll make a good profit on that. And I'm surprised with, again, I'm not a transfer man, and I don't know what clubs are doing, but the lack of interest in regards to speculation about his career, about his future. He didn't make any headlines or do anything amazing at this World Cup. Well, he's caught my eye, to be fair. Like, I can't help someone that's not caught my eye, bro. He's someone I'm gonna look at over the next season at club level as well. I've got it here. He's contracted till 2022, so it will be difficult for any club to want to get him in. Not in the sense that it's hard to negotiate with Fiorentina, but they're gonna command more. They're in a stronger negotiating position. He can also tuck in at fullback as well, which again he's a centre half, but adaptability. You don't know what happens with regards to injuries and suspensions and things like that. Ultimately, it shows his intelligence and his competency if he can play somewhere else. Now, again, there needs to be balance, or you can't be a jack of all trades. Yo, that was an accident, people, with the vid. But what was I gonna say? Yeah, you can't be a jack of all trades, or you end up like Eric Dyer. People berated me for saying it about Eric Dyer. I like the guy, but short term that the defensive mid thing was working at Spurs. Even at a time he was playing fullback for Spurs. Even at a time it was horrendous, but he's playing the centre half for Spurs. Centre half is probably his position long term, because I don't feel he offers enough in midfield. But short term, it was helping Spurs. His job was just to win the ball back sideways pass, and he was able to hide within that. And that's all Spurs needed him for. That's great for Spurs. Like, they needed that short term for years, and they went and they've got top four for how many years? So it is clearly working for them. But then long term, the effect on Eric Dyer is he's a jack of all trades, master of none. You can't say he's a centre half. Like, I'd say he's a centre half because that's where he's come up with. But is he a competent centre half? You probably say no. He switches off a lot, and probably his weakest performance, ironically, probably come at centre half. Or from what I've seen, Spurs fans, feel free to disagree with me. You guys know your players and club more than me. I'm never pretending that. Defensive mid probably where he's more comfortable on, and every now and again he might do a mad pass and things like that shows you his mess. But you get where I'm going with that, with the adaptability and the competency stuff. Not to make it about Dyer almost went left, but yeah, man. In short, he's someone that I rate, man. Like, obviously, he's only played his foot 17 times, 17 times or so, or 17 times or so. Don't get caught up on that. In Italy, 40 odd times for Partizan. You can't underestimate. You can't, at his age, you need experience. You can't underestimate experience, and you can't really quantify experience, because Eric Bailly, for instance, is United's best centre half, and he shows his inexperience at times. But where was he playing 10 years ago, even 5 years ago, when you compare that to some centre halves that are crap but have been competent forever? Like, again, Jimenez and Varane, they've got a lot of experience. Varane specifically, been part of the team that's won multiple Champions Leagues, and every now and again, especially I'd say Varane at set pieces, Jimenez, when he lets people run by, they switched off. They are switched off. They switch off and they show their inexperience. But look at the experience they have. That's why they're two of the top centre halves in the world. Compare that to people around their similar age group broadly. They're not messing, and you throw them on a pitch, they're not going to impress as much as him, because these guys are street smart. They've seen certain things. Like Varane, I guarantee he must have learnt from 2014 World Cup when Hummels bullied him in the air, and improved from defending set pieces in that regard. The same things happened to Jimenez. So yeah, man, Milenkovic is very inexperienced, so he needs to gain experience. He needs to get destroyed playing for his club side. He needs to get games where he's completely been embarrassed, because that's the only way you improve. Like, if I look back at my career in Sunday League, like, I wanted to get destroyed. I wanted the winger to nutmeg me and destroy me and try weights me and all of these things. Obviously, no one wants to be embarrassed, but it makes you better. You have to think. Personally, I like playing against better opposition. Sure, you might get embarrassed a couple of times, but there's also one thing: if you want to nutmeg me, man, I'll clamp you, innit? You need to. That's how you improve, innit? But I'm just going left and right with this now. In short, Nikola Milenkovic, 20 years of age, keen to see him over the next year. In regards to potential and all of these things, I don't know. In regards to who he should sign for, I don't know. But I can guarantee you that I'll keep coming with stuff like this. On that note, guys, deluded. Comment, subscribe, do the rest. I'm out.